Hello, everyone. We are back. We are live, and I'm here with Murph today in the Mic'd Up Savages house. And we chatting about the Yankees Mariners series. And during all that was hype about the trade deadline. This year it was August 2nd, and there were lots of stellar trades, not only for the Yankees, but for the Padres, especially. I think they had the best trade deadline, obviously. Not to mention not only Juan Soto, but a few other guys. But Murph, after this trade deadline, how you feeling going forward?
I mean, I was feeling really good up until the actual deadline and the bizarre move of trading Jordan Montgomery to the Cardinals for Harrison Bader and a player to be named later. Um, it was just such an out of nowhere move, in my opinion. It's like I think we had won the deadline right. We had gotten the big time starter we needed. We got bullpen help. We got a lefty and Benintendi for the outfield. And then we moved Joey Gallo, and we actually got a pretty decent prospect, Beater, who slides into our number 10 spot on the prospect list, which is pretty surprising. He's a little bit of a high upside arm.
Gross
Gets
fuck.
a lot of strikeouts. Yeah, he's getting a lot of strikeouts. His curveball is pretty nasty. He's got a pretty good fastball. It's just the walks that have been killing him, really. And so hopefully we can develop him a little bit more. Maybe he pans out. Who knows? He's 23 years old, so still pretty young. So that's good.
A guy that we can develop. I will take that any day. I was a little bit when I saw his ERA and his innings. I was a little bit worried, but then again, he's young.
Yeah.
He's got live arm again. Something that we can develop. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, you take the risk. I think he's destined for the bullpen. Would be my guess, but you never know. So yeah, it's exciting stuff for us. We got rid of Gallo, who I think Michael K said it best. Everyone wants to rip Michael K all of a sudden, by the way, which is bizarre. Like the same people that are booing Gallo want to defend Gallo on his way out. It's like, dude, it was bad. It was a bad experiment. It didn't work. I think us, especially on this pod, we tried to defend him for as long as we could. We were thinking we're going to die on this hill and we're going to be vindicated, but
We
unfortunately we
tried.
weren't. We tried, man. We were on the Joey Gallo train for a while, especially early on, and then we just kind of had to dip off, man. It was just unbearable.
Yeah, we gave him lots and lots and lots and lots of chances, and I think that's only to go without saying that I could just wish him luck out there in LA.
Yeah, I hope he tears it up in LA for sure.
Be cool to see him, turn it up in LA. Just not against us in the playoffs, hopefully, if we get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
God willing. But you know, before we get into the trade deadline news and all the hype and all the trades, not only with the Yankees but everyone else, we'll discuss a kind of deflating Mariners series in the Bronx. But we did have a positive game one. I would consider a positive game one. We did win the game. Domingo Herman took the rubber versus Marco Gonzalez, who Yankees roughed him up a bit, man. Yankees really roughed him up. Herman had a great start.
Yeah, he had a really solid start. He gets us his first win of the season. Pitches 5 solid innings, gives up 6 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 1K, 1 home run. He actually lowers his ERA to a 6.39 on the year.
Yeah.
This is his third start of the year, by the way, so that may be a little bit inflated, obviously. Coming in right after him, Ron with another solid outing from him. He gives us a solid inning with a punchy. He's
Looking
pitching
really
to a
good, man.
2.16. Yeah, he's looking solid, man. He's definitely pitching his way into the playoff roster, which is huge for him. Aroldis Chapman, he comes in. He actually has a pretty clean inning, gives up 1 hit, but gets a punchy, and he holds it down, man. I mean, nothing else to say. He
Did his job.
gives a clean inning. He's pitching to a 4.81 on the season. So Weisger comes in. He gets a clean inning. Good to see him progressing, both those guys progressing. And then Wandy comes in. He puts the bow on it. He has that little funky little run. We watched it live. That was crazy.
Yep.
I don't like it either. That's something that my hamstring, that type of deal. But it is what it is. The boys did a job. They all came through. The bullpen, phenomenal work, shutout innings. Yeah, and then the offense, putting the bow on it, man.
Dude,
Jumping on Gonzalez.
DJ LeMahieu, 3 hits, four at bats, 2 runs. Judgy is 43rd on the year. Rizzo is 26th on the year. Torres didn't get a hit. Sadly, Benintendi either. Hicks neither. Falefa with a hit, and Trevino also hitting 2 home runs in this game. His 10 on the year. So
Yeah, dude, love that for Trevino. He's having himself a time down there behind the dish.
Spark.
Yeah, the boys flex their muscles this game. They get 10 hits. They put up a fucking 6 spot on Gonzalez, which is huge. Gonzalez is not a slouch, but out of the new Seattle rotation, he's by far the weakest, I'd say. Oh, not by far. He's definitely like lower though. He's not an ace.
They have him, flexing, Castillo, Ray, Gilbert. That's right too. Yeah. Keep on thinking about Gilbert. But,
I would put it Castillo, Gilbert, and then Gonzalez. That'd probably be the top.
And then as well, they have that guy Matt Brash, dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's low key filthy.
Remember Justice Sheffield? Lol.
Yeah. Well, did he pitch against us?
No.
You know he's still in the major league system.
He is.
I thought he was done with baseball, to be quite honest.
I thought he was in minors. I thought they ostracized him. I thought he was doing terrible.
He's just
interesting.
Living out the rest of his days in AAA, probably.
Interesting stuff. But yeah, the boys take care of business. That's a huge thing. Yeah, I mean, nothing else to say. A little error from LeMahieu, but other than that, pretty clean day for the boys.
Yep. Great game by the Yankees. Yankees win game 1, 7-2. Game numero dos, we have on the bump, we have Jameson Taillon versus Logan Gilbert. Logan Gilbert was kind of shoving it for most of the game, but he did end up giving up 6 runs to us. And Jameson Taillon, another very short start. He goes 4 2/3, 2 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, a glaring amount of walks at 4 and 6 punchies, and another 2 home runs, raises ERA to a 3.96. You take away the walks, it's a whole different ball game from him. You limit the runs, only 2 hits, man. He's walking in guys, giving up home runs. Not a pretty outing. And again, 2 hits, 2 home runs. Those are the only hits he gave up.
Yep.
Tough game.
Pretty tough game from Jameson. You were hoping he was kind of going to keep it moving, keep it going. Unfortunately, he falls again. He's been having a rough stretch of things. He started off the season really well, and thus far it's really cooled off. And it's not good timing, especially with the whole Montgomery situation. And we've pretty much traded away all our AAA depth. Sears is gone. Wesneski, he's gone now. Waldachuk's gone. Medina's gone. Heel is still injured for the season. Our real only options are Herman, who's in the rotation, Clark Schmidt, Devi, who is just abysmal, who's actually been demoted back to AA, by the way. He's just been that bad. Yeah, he's been so bad. He's been ever since I think 2020, he's just been abysmal. He's not been the same. And and he's out of options next year, so he might be a DFA guy, if I'm honest. Like he might be finding himself in the team. They could look to move him in the offseason. The problem is I don't know who takes him, right?
Yeah.
And what do you get for him?
It's like you send him to the Athletics, but what do the Athletics give, you know?
Yeah.
What do we need from them?
A bag of baseballs. That's pretty much his value right now. It's non-existent. And there's a few guys like that who we didn't move this deadline, but it is what it is. We'll get into that when we get into that.
Bullpen.
Yeah.
Afros, good inning. Trevino, good inning. Abreu and Lecky, I'm not going to really blame them for their innings, because you give up, 2 pitches, 2 home runs from him, but you can't be walking guys at the rate that you're walking guys. So the loss, in my broad opinion here, but Yankee fans, it goes to Tyone, not
Yeah.
Lecky, because you
Yeah.
give up 2 runs from a bullpen. Normally our bullpen's been pretty good, but you give up the 2 runs and we lose because of it. But the Tyone outing just really irks me that you walk 4 guys.
Yeah,
It
that's kind of the
is
story of the series, right? Story of the series is starters just not being able to give us depth and give us a lead. Like we put runs on the board, but it gets soiled immediately because we're spawning them 5 off the bus essentially.
Yep.
Can't do it.
Yeah, that's next game.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
Jump.
we're saying,
Go ahead. You go. You go. You got it. You got it. You
but
got it.
you know, offense I think did their job today. 10
Yeah.
hits, 6 runs. I can't ask much more of them. The Seattle offense is not that scary.
No, especially right now.
Yeah, it's merely just they don't have their best hitters at all. France is hurt. Who else is hurt?
Julio.
Julio's hurt. He got hurt in the Houston series, right? He got hit by a pitch or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not great. It was his wrist. Was it wrist? Yeah.
He'll be fine. He'll be back. But yeah, we should have won this game.
Yeah, offense. They put up 10 hits, man. I mean, LeMahieu 2 for 5. Judgy, unfortunately, he goes 0 for, but they were pitching around him. He works 3 walks. He just literally they don't pitch to him at all. Rizzo goes 1 for 3. He hits. Does he get a home run? Yeah, he gets a home run in the 6th off of Gilbert. That was huge. 27th on the year. Carpenter 1 for 3. Huge day for him with an RBI and a run. Oh, not an RBI. Excuse me, just a run and a walk. Torres, he would come in and pinch hit, but what can you do? He doesn't do anything. Donaldson with a big day, 2 for 3 with 3 RBI. He gets himself a home run. That's his 10th of the year. Benintendi, 0 for on the day, and unfortunately 3 punchies for him. At this point, Yankee fans are getting nervous about the kid. He's yet to really get a hit for the Yankees. I'm still patient. Obviously, if you've watched tonight's game against the Cardinals, he gets a massive double down the line. So that's huge. And I think you just seen him press because he's trying to get results for his new team.
Yeah,
He'll settle in.
He's a great baseball player, guys. You have to be patient.
Yeah. He'll settle in. He'll settle in fine. Don't worry about it. Do not just start calling him the new Gallo because that'll piss me off, Yankee fans.
Have people started calling him this?
Absolutely, yeah. They're like, did we just trade for the new Benny Gallo or whatever? And it's just like, dude, shut up. Give the guy a chance.
You guys want all these trades, but then you accept. There's a lot of pressure coming to play in pinstripes, yo. You got to give us a few. You got to give him a few games, if not like a week or 2, bro.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Annoying.
Continuing on, Trevino 2 for 4. Continuing on his hot streak, he gets 2 ribbies and a run himself. No, just kidding. IKF 2 for 4, and then Hicks 0 for. No surprise. Yeah, I mean we out hit him. Just 2 for 6 of runners in scoring position. Not horrible, but not great for the boys. They left 7 runners stranded. It didn't help. LeMahieu was caught stealing. And then what else? Donaldson fielding error, kind of whatever. It's just starters, man. I mean, you just can't give them 5 runs and expect the team to win the game. It's just not going to happen, unfortunately.
It's a very hard task to ask. You're already putting up, 5 or 6 runs versus, in my opinion, a good pitching team.
Yeah, they're a really solid pitching team. Like we talked, like Gilbert coming into this game was looking really good. He was looking dominant. He was pitching a sub-3. After this game, obviously, he's pitching a 3.09. Judgy just missed the ball. Could have tied the game, or could have actually given us the lead with that one, but just gets under it. Anyways, back to the game. They just fell. I mean, what can you do, man? They fell flat. Can't expect them to outscore 8 runs. I mean, normally 6 runs should win you a ball game. That's basically all. That's it.
Yankees lose 8-6. I just kind of want to get on to talk about trades because at least that'll bring me some joy. Because Game 3 did not do that at all. Yeah. Thinking, Wednesday day game, I'm a little excited. Garrett Cole's on the mound. He had his what kind of starter again was it? What other team did he do this shit against?
Minnesota
Yes,
2.0.
Minnesota 2.0.
And I say that because this is a way weaker team.
Yes.
This is no Minnesota lineup at all. And he just got absolutely rocked. He got throttled, as I like to say. Cole, for the 5th time this year. Oh, safe? Out? Oh, Yankees lose, by the way, 4-3. Not great. Back to the game. Cole, unfortunately, records his 4th loss of the year. 5th time this year, he's given up 5 or more runs in an outing. And I think this is like his 3rd in a row. It's the scary part.
I think he's
he goes 6 innings, gives up 6 earned runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, 3 home runs, all of them in the first inning. Were they all in the first inning, or is it 2 in the first inning? Pretty sure they're all in the first, right?
All in the first.
No, Winker got him in the 7th.
Oh, sheesh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Winker got him in the 7th. Suarez, Santana. We did give up 4. I'm so confused. No, Winker didn't get him. No, Winker got Peralta. Sorry. Yeah. So it was all 3 in the first. It was Kalenic, it was Santana, and it was Suarez. All 3 of those guys go yah on Cole. And it was just a weird first inning, man. That first inning was bizarre. It made no sense. Cole, I don't know if he was playing mind games. Like, I don't know, because we played them again next week in Seattle. So I don't know if he was playing mind games, just trying to give him a different look instead of trying to, show his hand too early in the next outing. They got a beat on him. They weren't falling for any of that. He just gets rocked, man. I mean, Suarez, he throws a little get-me-over slider at Suarez. Suarez says, no, sir, and takes him yah-yah. Santana, same thing. Takes him yah-yah. And Kalenic, this dude Kalenic is batting 139 on the year, and he takes RA's yah-yah. So it sucks, man. I mean, this is just, again, the story of the series. You can't spot him 6 off the bus and expect us to go out there and win. Like, this game was over after the first. Let's be honest. Like, this team says, we never say die with this team, but, we didn't have Judge in the lineup. We don't have Sten. We have Higgy behind the plate. Higgy's not an offensive threat, although he would homer in this game. It's like, dude, what can we do with this? We can't do anything when our ace goes out there and gives them 6. And before we even get to swing the bat, by the way. And we haven't even taken it at bat, and we're down 6-0. So it was pretty much a done deal from the rip. They did all their damage pretty much in the first, and then they get another bonus ticked on in the 7th off of Peralta. Cole would settle in after that, and who would have guessed it? Go to your usual stuff, your fastball. That works perfectly fine. I don't know why we're messing around trying to go curveball off speed, all that fun stuff.
You are Garrett Cole.
You're Garrett Cole, you're the ace of the staff. You've been, regardless of what people want to say about you, you have literally finished top 3 in Cy Young votes your whole Yankee tenure at least.
He may even this year, to be quite honest.
He may. Nah, he's not going to, man. He would have to have, flawless. Let's say he gets 10 starts. He'd have to be flawless in, at least 7 of those. Yeah, he'd have to be, 7 innings flawless. Because you got to look, Verlander is pitching out of his mind. McClanahan's pitching out of his mind.
Retires, man.
Verlander's pitching to a 1.8. This dude's looking like he can pitch until he's 45, the way he's doing it. McClanahan, he's pitching to still a sub 3. He's pitching a 2. He might be a sub 2 still. He might be in a 1-8 as well. Manoah is pitching phenomenal too, and then obviously Cortez right now in 4th in terms of the American League Cy Young. He has a chance based on how he pitched tonight. And if he can continue his little hot streak, that'd be cool.
Yeah, much appreciated too. Everything's a little bit falling apart.
He gave the boys a shot tonight. Unfortunately, they do not capitalize.
A very good team.
Yep.
I don't want to discuss tonight just because I would like to happier things and
for sure.
Before I just want to let everyone know when the next possible stream is. It would be Sunday night. That cool?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, just quick rundown the bullpen. Wandy, he comes in, he gives up a run. He only records 2 outs. Loaiza comes in, cleans it up. He gets 1 out. Ron comes in, another clean outing from him. And Trevino, the newest Yankee, newest addition to the bullpen, he comes in, cleans it up.
2 clean outings from him.
Yeah, 2 clean outings in a row. Cool stuff. Like to see it.
Big
Nothing
goal.
to write home about. The boys went 1 for 5, runners in scoring position, 4 left on base. That's pretty much it, man. I mean, that's just the story of this game. Yankees get 5 hits. They only put up 3 on the board.
When you go down that early, very hard to fight back, no matter what.
Yep.
You're playing, no matter how good you are. Just you kind of lose a little motivation. You lose that spark of playing baseball yet another day.
Yeah. Only guys to get a hit. 2 for IKF, 2 for Higgy, 1 for Carpenter. Everyone else blank. Again, no Judge in the lineup. Hurts. Usually having no Trevino in the lineup would hurt because Higgy's just been such a liability at the plate, but he actually has himself a really good day at the plate. Yeah, I mean, it was the bottom of the order, kind of doing a little bit, but it's just not enough, obviously. Everyone else was quiet.
After this series loss and tonight's loss, are you hitting the panic button yet?
No, I mean, let's be honest. The boys can go 500 this month, and they're still going to win the division. I think it all matters about September. I think once we get the boys healthy again, everyone's pretty much locked in the zone. That's when things will start to matter. August is just like, let's just get – yeah, listen, Yankee fans, August is about to be rough. I'm going to keep it a buck with you, right? August is pretty much – we're going to use every day possible to get guys rest. Guys like Judge are going to get a lot of rest days. LeMahieu probably going to get a lot of rest days. It's going to be very much
games, though. There's a lot of winnable games.
Yeah, and this is a little bit of a tough stretch for the boys, but this is like a good testing grounds for them to see what they're at, see where they're at, see what's happening with these guys and who they can hang with, and it's going to be a litmus test for these guys. But hey, I mean, again, they odds are they're going to go 500 this month, would be my guess. And that's based on the decision-making that the higher-ups are going to make. They're going to make pretty much conservative decisions to make sure guys just make it through to September in the postseason.
You could be seeing a possible call-up.
I don't know, man. I want to see a call-up. I think if you were willing to –
Yankee fans want to call up.
Yeah, I want to call up. Why not, dude? I mean, just give this dude August. Give this dude August. Like, again, like this should be pressure-free. The dude's lighting it up. He homered again tonight, and that's Oswald Peraza, number 2 prospect for the Yankees. And that kind of brings me into some of the trade talks. So a couple articles dropped this morning regarding the deadline and the weird move surrounding the Jordan Montgomery trade. For those of you who don't know, Jordan was traded for Harrison Bader and a player to be named later. Now, everyone thought this trade was bizarre, us included, obviously. Why would they do this when they just, everyone wanted them to get a starter. They got the starter. We had really good starter depth. And then they traded away, I'd say, one of the more dependable pieces in the rotation now, despite what people want to say.
Most consistent guys on the rotation.
Yeah, he gives us 5 innings every time, 3 earned runs, less. The occasional hiccup, but for the most part, he's been Mr. Reliable for our rotation.
Are we going to face him?
We are going to face him. It's going to be sad days.
I don't even know if I want the Yankees to win.
Yeah. Our buddy Nick, he texted me. He's like, "So how many are you going to put up on Montgomery?" And I said, "Well, depends which Montgomery shows up to the ballpark. If Montgomery A shows up, he's blanking us for a solid 5-6 innings. Yep. Montgomery B shows up, we're hanging 7 on his head, and he's getting pulled after 3. It could go either way."
Yo, Nick, we don't talk to you about Mets, bro. We don't talk to you about Mets. Don't come talking to us about Yankees. That's it. Simple as that. That's how you keep the peace in New York.
But getting back to these rumors, so apparently Cashman alluded to this, by the way, in his press conference regarding the deadline just in general. There was a trade in place to go out and get Pablo Lopez, starter from the Miami Marlins. Pablo Lopez is 26 years old, and right now he's pitching to a 3.41. He was having an electric start to the season.
Very good pitcher.
He's a very good pitcher. It's his 3rd straight year now. where he's finally gone under a 4, which is pretty big for him and pretty big for a major leaguer. I mean, under a 4 is really good, decent for a major leaguer. And he started off the season even pitching like a sub 3, like he's in the 2s, low 2s. And it's on a pretty bad team, if we're being honest. Like the Miami Marlins are a bad team. So him pitching a 3-4, probably really low run support, pretty good.
Hard to do.
Hard to do. So yeah, there was a deal in place that would have sent Aaron Hicks and possibly one of Gleyber Torres or Peraza or Anthony Volpe for a Pablo Lopez.
What happened?
So Kim, the GM, who was a former assistant GM to Brian Cashman, shot down there's 2 rumors. She either shot down the deal at like literally the last minute. Like it was like 59. They were about to like shake the hands and do the deal. And she came in and shot it down. Or she tried to ask for more last second. That's the other rumor. That she either asked for more or she shot it down. Don't know which is true. But obviously, if you're willing to give up Gleyber Torres or Peraza or Volpe, they weren't going to give up Volpe. That was not for Pablo Lopez. But they were probably willing to give up Peraza or Gleyber. And they were going to put in Aaron Hicks in the pack. Like, hey, you got to take this guy. You know, get this guy out of New York, right?
They were willing to.
They were willing to. The Yankees were about to make that deal, but now then they shot it down. They shot it down last second, which makes this Jordan Montgomery deal make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
And apparently Gleyber was shopped around in multiple trades. He was shopped around in the Juan Soto trade. He was shopped around in a Josh Hader trade. There was a possibility that they could have sent him to the Brewers for Josh Hader, but obviously that all fell apart. And ironically, both those names will go to my San Diego Padres, my second team. Yeah, you hear me?
I love me some San Diego Padres.
I love me some San Diego Padres. They did all the moves I wish the Yankees would do. They got out there and they got Juan Soto,
aggressive,
Josh Bell, Brandon Dury, and Josh Hader.
He joined Slam Diego very quickly, Brandon.
He joined Slam Diego very quickly.
First game too, bro.
First game, dude. First game, first at bat. Homie says, this just feels right, he says. This feels like I'm supposed to do this. It's going to be an electric offense, especially when Tatis comes back. He's starting his AA rehab assignment today. Yep. So huge stuff from him. Love to see it. But yeah, it's just really interesting to see that the Yankees were really willing to trade Gleyber Torres at the deadline, which leads me to believe they're more than willing to do it in the offseason.
Yep.
And I would not be surprised if that move were to happen, if they were to move a Gleyber Torres and possibly give a guy like Peraza or Volpe an opportunity. You never know.
Or both, or honestly, it could be both of them at the same time.
Could be both. They could do both. You know, you never know. Wells is pretty much on the cusp of getting a call up.
Like $299, bro.
He'll probably get a call up to AAA by the end of the year, and then he'll be able to work his magic and hopefully again get his way into the conversation. Sweeney will probably get a call up as well. AA.
Now, do we see Higashioka gone, or do we see Trevino gone?
No, Higgy's gone for sure.
I don't know how long we have Trevino for.
I think it's 2 years. I could be completely wrong. I have no idea. They could.
Seems to be on one in New York too, as we've seen.
Yeah, I would guess if they're picking Trevino over Higgy 9 times out of 10.
Sad to see him go,
and I think they're gonna get Ben an opportunity to compete for that starting spot with Trevino. Ben obviously being 24 years old, I think next year.
Yeah,
he'll be really young, left-handed hitter. Again, another game manager like Trevino. So who knows? I mean, if he has a really good stint in AAA, he's obviously going to get a spring training invite. He might be able to beat out Higgy for that second spot. Although Higgy, Mr. Spring Training phenom, I don't know, man. It's going to be a tough look.
No. We fell for it once. You Yankee fans. We don't. My heart can't take that crap again.
But yeah, there's a really good chance that Hicks is gone in this offseason. A guy like Higgy's gone. Jameson's gone. Obviously, Jordan Montgomery's gone. And that just leads me to believe. So that trade, by the way, I'm not a fan of that trade in any way, shape, or form. Even if we got Pablo Lopez, I don't know if I'm a fan of that trade necessarily. But yeah, it just shows you that what they thought of Montgomery. They're like, he's not going to make this playoff roster, which if you think about it, makes sense. Right? you're not gonna. What are you gonna start him in your fourth game? Like at that point,
Yeah.
I think they'd rather not. They'd rather just go with Sevy.
But isn't Monty a free agent?
Yeah, he is a free agent, so he's gonna. Odds are they're gonna let him walk. So
Really?
that's the gist I get from this, right? If they were willing to trade him, they're probably just gonna let him walk.
Hoping to, trade and re-sign him because like pull a fast one, say, hey Monty, But I don't think any player would agree to that.
I mean, in theory, you could, but like,
For the better,
I just don't see it. I don't think Monty was necessarily the happiest this year with how things were going. Right, he was getting negative run support. He was getting yanked pretty early, like the earliest out of all the starters. He was getting the shortest leash. And he's been one of the more consistent arms, and I think he's feeling really good this year. And I think there was a lot of frustration on his end. Not to say that he hated his time in New York. I'm just saying, like, now, who knows? He could have the time of his life in St. Louis. They could give him a whole new perspective on how to pitch.
Will too.
And he's a guy who's going to get a decent amount of money. So, and the Yankees got money they got to spend elsewhere, right? They got to go lock up Aaron Judge. They probably got to go sign another starter, right? Because I think Herman is out of options. Luis Severino is going to be on his final year. Jameson's walking. They're really going to only have Cole and Nestor locked up.
Yeah.
And I guess Frankie, who they could look to extend if he has a really good half season.
Yes. Did we already discuss the Montas trade?
I believe so. I think we did discuss that last video.
But we didn't discuss the what's it called?
Gallo?
Juan Soto trade.
Oh, Juan Soto. Yeah, this big trade. This trade, I think really this trade screwed a lot of people because of how last second this trade was, and everyone was waiting for the dominoes to fall. Juan Soto gets traded to the San Diego Padres, and they get a pretty decent haul back. I don't think it was the craziest. It definitely wasn't what people are saying it was. Like, they say, like, you got a bunch of mix of stuff, but I don't know. I don't feel like this was a crazy haul for the Nats, but they did end up getting Mackenzie Gore. They got C.J. Abrams. They got James Wood. They got Hassel the third. Hansel, is it Hassel the third? Is that his name? Hassel the third. And they got another pitching prospect. What was his name? Do you remember?
Oh,
Suarez.
Yes.
Those three guys were all ranked, and I think they were all in the top 100.
Dude, James Wood and Hassel alone are nasty. Wood's putting up monster numbers. Like, he has like the body type of like Josh Bell and like the swing of Josh Bell.
Yeah,
but, like,
he's 6'7".
He's like 10 times better than Josh Bell.
Yeah. So,
but they gave up I think that the Nats for what they got for Juan Soto is people start saying like that wasn't enough for Juan Soto, but that's enough for like the 2 years worth of Juan Soto.
It's crazy to me. The reason why I don't think the trade was ultimately that good for the Nationals is because they packaged Josh Bell in the deal. That was supposed to be a deal where you sent Soto and like a guy like Corbin, right? Yeah. And you get all that money off the book. That was supposed to be that deal for essentially Soto. But they got that deal and they got they got that deal and then they got Josh Bell, which is the icing on the cake. Yeah. Like, that's crazy to me that deal happened like that. Like, I don't know why they love to package two phenomenal trade pieces together. Like, Josh Bell on his own right probably could have got you a pretty decent haul.
Yeah, at least two prospects.
And they would have been pretty decent prospects too. At least one top 100 for sure.
Yeah.
And then the other piece that was supposed to be going back to the Nationals was Eric Hosmer. Eric Hosmer has a no-trade clause, and he shoots it down immediately. He says, nope, I ain't going to the Nationals. I ain't going to this dumpster fire of an organization. And I don't blame him. Why would you?
I'm really surprised though.
He's literally like, I have a chance at a ring. Why would I go over there and just waste my time, right? So he shoots it down. So then the Padres have to go and throw someone else in the deal.
Take it.
None other than Luke Voigt gets thrown in the deal, and Luke Voigt, poor Luke Voigt, had a
Sent
chance.
to the sun, bro.
Dude, Luke Voigt was sitting there on top of the world. He was looking at all these. They're like, dude, we got Josh Hader. No way. We got Josh Hader. No way. We got Juan Soto, Josh Bell. No way. He's like, oh my god.
Bat and his batting gloves and threw it to him to get on the plane.
Dude, he was so hyped. He was watching all these moves go down. He's like, my name's not in the trade deal. Yes, I'm gonna get a ring. He's like, in his mind, he's like, yes, I'm gonna get a ring. I'm gonna get a ring. I'm gonna get a ring. And then they're like, hey, Voigt, Hosmer said no to the deal, buddy. And he's like, oh, that sucks. Who's gonna take his place? And then they're like, you. And
you could take. The thing is, Murph. If they win, he still gets a ring.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Not really.
No, but he technically.
Hey, not really.
Not really.
Yeah. No, he doesn't want that.
No, but I'm just saying, like, Voigt, word of advice: if you don't want the ring, just make a few bucks off of it. You didn't.
He's gonna take it.
You bit the bullet. You walked so that San Diego could run for Juan Soto.
Dude, he got shot so they could run.
Yeah.
He got put out in the back so they could just fly. Like, it's crazy. I feel bad for Luke Voigt. I think the fans feel bad for Luke Voigt because he wasn't beloved in San Diego, but they were starting to feel good for him at the end of his tenure. Little did they know, but they were feeling better about him, especially with the offense was just. It was rough. They were putting up runs, and you're like, how are they putting up runs with this offense, right? It's literally like Machado and the boy, and just
and any random joke.
Which random guy wants to show up? Like Jorge Alfaro was kind of doing a little bit. Profar has actually been really serviceable out there in center field.
Bro, I thought Profar was trash. He's putting up
really
ass god tier games.
I think he's leading center fielders in WAR right now, which is crazy.
Nuts.
At least in the NL for sure. He's actually a very good player right now. Yeah, so huge. And he's a super utility guy. You can play infield, you play outfield, which has been huge for them. Cronenworth has stepped it up. Hosmer was actually being pretty productive for them in his brief time period there.
He was very good this year.
Yeah, and then they shipped him out to Boston for whatever they could get, and I think they're still paying him, ironically.
Who did they get from Boston?
Don't remember. Don't really care, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I don't think
they got a decent prospect, but I think they had to give up Hosmer and 2 other prospects to get a decent prospect in return.
Let's see. But the thing is, Hosmer needed to go if they were.
No, for sure. Yeah, they did not want to hold on to Hosmer, especially since they acquired Josh Bell in the deal. They definitely don't want to be holding on to another bum.
Red Sox gave up prospects. Jay Groom, left-hander. Jay Groom, and to pay most of his salary. So yeah, it's pretty much to say, hey, take him, please.
Yeah, they just want him off the roster, clear a roster spot. Don't blame them. The Josh Hader trade was also quite interesting. The Yankees. I wish the Yankees. The Padres would send over. What did they send over? I'm looking for that trade. Where is it? When was this trade? They send over a pretty good ransom over for. They send over Taylor Rogers. They send over. Dude, I cannot find this trade. Why can't I find it? What is happening? Oh, here it is. Okay, so they acquire Josh Hader for former closer Taylor Rogers, left-handed pitcher Robert Gasser, outfielder. Not even try Ruiz. I'll say his last name, and right-handed pitcher Desmond Lamet, who ends up getting DFA'd, and now he's on the Rockies. I would have loved if the Yankees took a flyer out on him. I think he's
I'm surprised he
he's a
didn't.
huge upside guy.
Surprised the Brewers didn't keep him because
I think that was scratched because I read that the Padres DFA'd him. So I don't know. I'm confused. I thought I read the Padres were the ones that DFA'd him, but I guess the Brewers did.
just because they groom pitchers out there in Milwaukee, very good pitchers nonetheless.
Yeah, that's just confusing to me. I don't know why they would do that, but yeah, I mean, he got DFA'd. Rockies pick him up. Really good move for the Rockies. Yeah.
How is Milwaukee hanging in, dude?
I don't know. Their offense looks abysmal to me, but their pitching's pretty elite. Despite even trading Josh Hader, like Devin Williams is still really good. Now they add Taylor Rogers, who is honestly having a pretty decent year. Just a couple of hiccups, that inflate the ERA. Same thing with Josh Hader, though. He was having a really good year, and then a couple of hiccups inflate the ERA.
I'll take Hader any day of the week compared to.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Taylor Rogers goes back. He'll probably be the setup man for Devin Williams, who will be the new closer. Other notable trades: Astros acquire Trey Mancini.
He has 3 hits for them thus far. 3 of them are home runs.
He's been pretty mean for them. That was probably a bittersweet trade for the Baltimore Orioles. A lot of Orioles fans confused why they're trading guys when they're in the midst of kind of a miracle run right now. They're in the run for a wild card spot. But you got to realize, bigger picture, even if they make the playoffs, they're getting bounced first round. So what's the point? What's the point, right? Build up, keep acquiring talent, young talent. You're in the rebuild. You're kind of about to emerge from it. Just make sure you do it right. You sell the pieces you can while you can. Because Trey Mancini was a free agent, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so they could always bring him back. I
think he'd go back too.
I think he'd go back. So I think they did the really smart move by trading him.
I think they got not a bad.
It was a 3-way trade between them and the Rays, and obviously the Orioles. The Orioles would get Seth Johnson, right-handed pitcher from Tampa, and Chase McDermott from Houston.
Yes.
I hear Seth is actually pretty good.
Chase just got drafted this year.
Yeah, and Chase is the fresh draft pick, so that should be interesting. But yeah, I hear this Seth guy is actually really good. He's the guy behind Baz, who's actually a pretty notable pitching prospect from the Rays. And anytime you get a pitching prospect from the Rays, it's a pretty good deal. They develop arms like nobody's business. I wish they weren't in our division so we could constantly trade with them and get those arms for ourselves. They would also go out and get Christian Vasquez?
Yeah, Christian Vasquez.
Christian Vasquez from the Red Sox. The Red Sox had themselves the weirdest deadline.
The worst, in my opinion.
They were buying, they were selling. It just made no sense. What were they doing for what?
I don't know what they're doing because the only player left after December of this year will be, in my opinion, Xander Bogaerts on that roster.
I think he's opting out.
Oh, he's gonna opt out. That's right.
He's gonna opt out. Yeah, Martinez is gonna leave. I think Devers is there for another year before he's a free agent, right? Or is he a free agent next year?
He can request a trade, but they may not trade.
They're not gonna do that. They're gonna hold on to him and qualifying offer him. That's why they held on to a guy like Martinez and Bogaerts. They're gonna get qualifying offers for both those guys. They know both those guys are gonna leave. So Boston might be in the midst of a rebuild very soon, especially after this offseason. Crazy stuff. The Cardinals, they acquire Jose Quintana on top of Jordan Montgomery. It's a big acquisition for them, especially since they were in the running for Juan Soto up until the last possible second. They just didn't want to include their top prospect and Dylan Carlson. They really like Dylan Carlson a lot, center fielder. He's obviously the one replacing Bader.
They get 2 depth pieces for their already very good, in my opinion, rotation.
Yeah, they're just Jack Flaherty on the IL and Steven Matz on the IL. So they needed pitching badly, and they got it.
Yeah, they need it. They're obsessed with Dylan Carlson, dude. I saw that the only reason they didn't trade was because they wanted Dylan Carlson on their team.
Yeah, they really like him. He's a late round pick. They managed to develop into a young budding star. They had a death grip on him. They were not letting him go. Braves acquire Robbie Grossman from the Tigers. Good little pickup from them. Twins.
You forgot.
Sandy Leon.
Forgot.
What?
Braves. Bullpen. Raisel Iglesias.
Oh, yeah. They get Iglesias from the Angels, who have the most bizarre deadline as well. They're selling, but they don't want to full sell. They didn't want to trade Ohtani, which makes sense, obviously. Most teams are not going to have the tools to go out and really put out a proper offer because they want major leaguers in return. And if you want major leaguers, you got to wait till off season because teams aren't going to give up really crucial pieces in the midst of a pennant run. They don't want to gut the system and gut the depth.
Damn right. Mess up the chemistry.
So they're going to wait till the off season to see if they can actually move him. But I don't think a move's going to get done from everything I've heard. Dude, it seems like they're really scared to trade this dude. They don't want to.
How many years does he have left?
He's free agent after next year, I think. Or is it 2?
What deadline haul are they going to have to give up? Are they cannot just let this. He's not going to return. What deadline move is he going to have? They're going to have to give up to get him. Like,
I have no idea what that even looks like. I think it would look like if I'm, let's say us, for example, were to throw our hats in the mix. You're talking Volpe, non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
Gleyber Torres. You're probably talking Dominguez. Probably talking Wells. You're probably talking at least another decent prospect. Probably 2. Dude, he's a unicorn. The way guys evaluate him, they evaluate him as essentially Roger Clemens on the mound and Matt Olson at the plate.
Yeah.
2 phenomenal people. And you're adding them all in one player. You're benefiting both your rotation and your offense immediately. I would be interested to see if the Yankees could somehow move Stan to the Angels in this deal. Ooh. Would that be something they could manage? And they would have to probably take on a lot of payroll to do that. But could they essentially do that? Because that would free up your DH spot, which is the only reason I don't think the Yankees could realistically do something like this, because your DH would be permanently locked with Stan.
A team that is going to trade for him, because I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's getting done in December.
I don't see it getting done at all. I just think the Angels are too scared to trade him. There's rumors that they might favor trading a Mike Trout over Ohtani. That's how scared they are to trade Ohtani, which makes no sense in my opinion.
If they let this man walk, though, the implications to the Angels franchise, this will kill.
They're already a joke. They're already a joke, right? You've had the best player on the planet. You've had him through his prime. And you got to 1 playoff game. You lost with the best player on the planet.
Yep.
You literally couldn't buy your way into the playoffs. You tried so hard and you couldn't do it.
Rendon, Iglesias, Ohtani, Jared Walsh. Like this you need a fire sale again.
Yeah. It's just like, dude, I'm sorry, but it's just not meant to be. Angels, it's not meant to be. You're not meant to have the unicorn and the best player on the planet all on the same team, and you still can't win. Like, what, dude? Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Because I'm just telling you, if we had the unicorn and the best player on the planet with our current team, there's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind, we would already be at 90 wins.
No. Yeah. So interesting to see what happens with them if they fully blow it up. They do end up trading Thor to the Phillies.
Good piece for the Phils.
Good piece. Thor was confused why that deal took as long as it did.
Did you see his first game? Lightning struck.
Really? That's crazy. Mets have a bit of a weird. They didn't make a splash, man. Everyone thought they were going to make a splash.
Though.
The Mets did not go do anything. They got Michael Givens. They got a couple bench pieces. They got Ruff from the Giants. They got
the Japanese Smasher. They used to call him over in there, or Chinese Smash or whatever they called him over there.
And they got Vogel back. Obviously, we saw him.
Dog.
What an odd deadline for them. Like they were supposed to be like runners to get Wilson and Ian Happ, possibly, Vasquez, Martinez. There were a lot of deals, and then none of them came to fruition.
Mm-hmm. They threw their name in the hat a lot. I just don't know if they were willing to trade anyone on their current roster.
Yeah, it was weird. And then they traded JD Martinez. I forget, or not Martinez. Sorry, JD Davis. I forgot who they traded him for. It's with the Dodgers, right?
What team did you say?
The Dodgers, wasn't it? Was it the Dodgers? I could be wrong.
Did they send him? I don't think they sent him for Naquin.
They got okay. Here it is. The Mets acquire first baseman / outfielder Darren Ruff from the Giants for third baseman outfielder JD Davis. So that was the deal. They got Ruff, JD Davis, Thomas. I'm not even try Nick Zwack and Carson Seymour.
Yeah.
I'm terrible with names. This is horrible.
We'll work through it,
Yeah, this is.
I gotta go by. We'll get better at it.
Maybe, hopefully. Phillies acquire Brandon Marsh from the Angels as well.
That's a weird one, dude. I thought they were obsessed with Marsh.
Yeah, I thought so too, and I think Brandon Marsh makes a lot of sense for the Phillies, though. But yeah, it is really confusing why they would just trade Marsh. That just really leads me to believe that they were willing to blow it up pretty soon, and they should.
Surprised they didn't move Joe Adell.
Blue Jays have a really silent deadline as well. Would have thought they would have made a couple more impactful moves. They do acquire right-handed pitcher Anthony Bass and right-handed pitcher Zach Pop from the Marlins for shortstop Jordan Groshans. Close.
Hey, solid effort. Real quick,
solid effort.
Why the Angels are willing to trade and even discuss this Trout, Ohtani, they trade Marsh, and then we have Joe Adell
Iglesias
rotting. Why is Joe Adell rotting?
He's not good. That's why. He wasn't the promised prospect. He was supposed to be. They were saying outrageous stuff, right? He's the next Mike Trout. Is what they were saying.
Yep.
Supposed to be his replacement. Yeah. Look how that's panned out, dude. Dude's horrible. Let's be honest here. Dude is not good.
On to the next one.
Twins. They acquire Michael Fulmer from the Tigers. Pretty good deal from them. Some nice bullpen acquisitions. They actually got pretty good. They got also Tyler Mahle. Is that how you say it? Mahle?
Yep, from the Reds.
From the Reds. That was a really good trade from them.
He made his debut tonight. How'd he do?
I did not see. You should check that.
Check.
Phillies acquired David Robertson from the Cubs. Huge from them. They get him back. He's trying again. What else? Oh, right. The Blue Jays did acquire Whit Merrifield from the Royals.
Yes.
That was a good deal from them. Not enough, in my opinion, but a good deal nonetheless. Like I said, Twins get Tyler Mahle.
He gave up 4 runs, 6 innings. Michael Fulmer got the win. And Jorge Lopez pitched for them. They got Jorge.
All right. They did get Jorge Lopez. So, yeah, they made some really good, impactful moves. Their lineup was already stacked. It was just about getting the pitching right, and they did just that.
Oh, dude, that's so weird.
What?
No.
I can't see that. I can't. Jordan Montgomery? Yep. In the St. Louis?
No.
Yeah. The homegrown talent is gone to St. Louis. Like we mentioned, Eric Clayton Beater for Joey Gallo. He jumps in to be our number 10 prospect, 23 years old. AA. Interesting stuff. Yeah, those were pretty much the major deals that go down.
Did you mention Odorizzi?
Oh, yeah, Jake Odorizzi to who? The
Braves.
The Braves, that's right.
And they just got back. Eddie Rosario just came back, and he had a 3-run home run against the Mets tonight.
Wow. So, yeah, it was a pretty hectic deadline, but I think there are some clear losers. I think the Cubs, one of the biggest losers. How do you not trade either Wilson or Happ? Like, that's ridiculous. You have to. And I think they messed up. I think their asking price was ridiculous because they thought teams had no choice but to give in, and teams were just like, no, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
and they messed up, so they just held on to him. And I think they're like, "Oh, we're going to try to re-sign him." You know, damn well they're not going to re-sign. They're going to leave. Why would you sit through that unless you're absolutely getting paid the bag? But I don't know. Me personally, I would want to win. I want a ring. Not going to sit there trying to go through another rebuild and just suffering. You know, especially if you're the best player on that team, no one's going to pitch to you. They're going to pitch around you, get the free outs. What Juan Soto had to go through essentially in Nationals with the Nationals, which is why his average is not stellar this year.
We could see him end up on a team that has the money in San Francisco. You never know. They do have the catching prospects in Patrick Bailey. Joey Bart's not really panning out for them, but a team like the Giants could step in and grab them. Never know. He could also end up in Milwaukee. I've heard a few things going around because they want to get rid of Omar Narvaez because he is getting some trade value, but possible to the Brewers too. Mix for that guy. But
there's exciting moves still to be done for sure. I think, especially this offseason. I think you're going to see a lot of exciting moves. I expect the Yankees to make quite a few moves this offseason, regardless of what happens. I don't think there's certain guys who are going to be on this team long term. Like, I think Hicks is probably gone. I really do think if they're already talking about moving Gleyber Torres, I think they're pretty set on moving Gleyber Torres.
But we gotta get a haul. We gotta package him in a good deal.
It'd be interesting to see what that deal would be, you know. And I'm excited to see it. And then, I think Cubs were losers, Angels were losers. Rockies, what are you doing, Rockies? Like, blow it up, bro. You guys suck. You guys are garbage.
Is Bryant playing?
Bryant, I don't even know, man. Who cares? They're the Rockies. I don't watch Rockies baseball. They're trash.
Bryant needs to be on a good team. Trade the man.
He's making too much money.
I know.
You had Daniel Bard. You could have traded him. Instead, you extended him. No idea why. You had Herman.
That was like, I saw that. I'm like,
dude, that's like, what are you doing? Like, this is the freest trade piece you got. Like, you get a haul for him because he's a phenomenal closer this year. Playoff teams foaming at the mouth to get in the calls for him. You know,
listen to this. I would have tried to trade Blackman. Iglesias was hitting 313. Crone 277.
CJ Crone.
Rogers.
You had Herman Marquez. Trade him. He definitely needs a change of scenery, and he's gonna be phenomenal. You can sell teams on that. Like, dude, there's just they had so many pieces to blow. They should have blown that team up. The Giants messed up
their whole farm. They could have had like 60 good prospects instead of 30. You know?
Yeah, like it was actually an embarrassment that they didn't blow it up. I don't know what they're doing at all.
It just doesn't make any sense. No logical sense.
Yeah, the Giants made a mistake not trading either Rodon or Jock, in my opinion. Don't know how you don't trade either of those guys. Especially, I get Rodon was a bit of a weird one because he does have that opt-in, which is ridiculous. It's an opt-in of $22.5 million, and you got to think if he's opting into a deal, it's more than likely he's probably hurt and he's gonna be missing time. So it's a scary deal. You should have still tried to move him for whatever you could. Like, he's not staying. Like, if he does opt out, you lose him for nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. Jock, I don't get not trading him for whatever he's worth. Like, who cares? You guys are not in the wild card hunt. You guys are not going to beat the Padres. You're not going to beat the Dodgers. I don't get it. It's just bizarre to me.
So was last year's Giant run just a fluke? Or what were they actually good?
I think they're still decent. I think it was Logan Webb and Kevin Gausman just being absolute dogs for that team.
But I mean, they also had Posey. You know, the lead. It just shows you a leader. Crawford had a monster year.
Yeah, I think guys were just playing out of their minds last year. I don't think it was necessarily a fluke. I just think, especially in that division, everyone just got so much better.
Yeah,
like everyone got way better than them. Their pitching was not as elite as they were probably hoping it would be going into the season, which is why they were more than comfortable letting Gausman walk.
Yeah,
Gausman's been pretty solid for the Blue Jays. So it's interesting to see the situation they're in. I don't get why they didn't trade guys. I think the Blue Jays, I mean, the Orioles were like the smartest of the teams, lower teams that just kind of like, yeah, we're just blowing it up, man. We're just going to, not necessarily blowing up, but we're selling the valuable pieces. We're keeping the core. We're getting ready to make a run here pretty soon. We just need to make sure that the young guys are in place to succeed. We don't care if we're making a miracle run this year. Who cares? I get it. It's not, if you're a player, you're like, what the heck, man? But like, you got to look at the bigger picture. Like, this is not your year. You're not beating a team
If
like the
we're
Yankees.
already making a miracle run with what we have,
yeah.
Wait till Grayson Rodriguez gets called up.
Gunnar Henderson.
Those guys come up.
Yeah, they got some dogs who are gonna get ready to come up, and they're gonna light it up for that team. So
Adley's not doing too bad, right? He's not.
I don't know. I haven't kept track. I don't think he's doing too bad, but
I know Torkelson's back in AAA.
Yeah, because he was having a rough go with things, dude. He was looking pretty rough out there. He looked nervous more than anything. Like every time you see him, he looked really nervous. Tigers had a stinker, man.
What do you mean? Oh, stinker for yeah.
Yeah, they're really bad. They finally traded Boyd. Forgot about him. Where'd he go?
Ended up in what? LA?
I don't remember. I think LA.
That was last minute, and that didn't even get announced.
No one cared, man. Matthew Boyd.
No, was he not with the Tigers?
Yeah, he was with the Tigers this year, but I don't think he pitched much. I think he's
been injured.
Yeah. Where'd he go?
I just saw a headline today about Miguel Cabrera that he's like, he may retire after this year. Like it's not a guarantee. It's not 100% that he may come back.
Yeah.
But he said he's like, I don't feel good right now. Like, and I don't feel good, and I'm hitting 313, bro.
Oh, Matthew Boyd was on the Giants.
And where'd he go?
He went to the Mariners.
Yes.
Okay. Who cares?
I was like, we're just so used to talking about Matthew Boyd every deadline.
Every deadline. The Tigers are like, you got to give us Gleyber Torres, Volpe, you got to give us Peraza, Dominguez just to start the call. And then we'll give you Boyd.
Hang up the phone unless I don't hear those names. You're not even saying hello. Those are the first names I got to hear.
I want Torres, I want Volpe, I want Peraza, Dominguez. Hello? That's it. That's all he gets.
But, yeah, I mean, a lot of teams had real big stinkers.
Yeah, and a lot of teams that like easy blow-ups. Like, these are the easiest trades you can make. Get whatever you can.
Diamondbacks made trades, dude. Like, yeah. What do you think of the Phillies deadline?
It was a decent deadline for them. I think they got a few really good pieces. I think Thor, high upside. Brandon Marsh, obviously.
He's just going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had a decent deadline because they're still trying to compete. They're trying to hold out hope. I think it's for nothing. Like they probably will make playoffs, but they're not beating a team like the Braves, the Padres, the Dodgers, the Mets. I don't even think they're beating the Cardinals.
Once September ends, dude, everyone's at 5. Everyone's at no one's played a game yet when you get to that point. New season.
Yeah, that's true. You never know. Bryce Harper playoffs could erupt.
Imagine.
He could be a monster. Yeah, and I think for most of these contenders, most of these top teams, it's all about just surviving August, getting to September in one piece, and then really just ironing out the bugs in September and just preparing yourself for a deep October run.
Please do not panic, Yankee fans.
No, hey, listen, it's going to be a rough few weeks. I ain't going to lie to you. It's going to be kind of brutal, especially down the late stretch.
Yep.
They're going to lose games more than they were before.
Stay strong, guys.
It's just baseball, man. That's how this team is going to go. That's how this team's been operating in the month of August. The month of August is always make sure the boys are rested, make sure the team's right. And then September is kind of like
turn it up.
Just making sure the boys are good, everyone's back from injury, hoping we're pretty much getting into form for the playoffs.
Hell.
I do want them, though, to prioritize getting home field advantage over the Astros. I think that will be important.
Yes. And so what do we have to do to get that now? Best record in the AL?
Yeah, you have to have the best record in the AL.
Okay.
And the Astros are nipping at our heels. They're right behind us.
Like, don't slack off because you need.
You may see a changing of the guard in the month of August. The Astros could very well leap us for the best record, but it won't be much. It won't be like they'll jump 5 games ahead of us. You know,
It'll
they
be
might
like
just
a game or
1
two.
or 2. Yeah, you might see that this month. Yeah, I really do think the Yankees are going to struggle this month, but next month will be better.
I just hope that there's come time there's a pissed off Mariners team in the AL West. Yeah, AL West. It's late. I'm shot.
Yeah. My only hope is that we don't come to regret not acquiring a Luis Castillo. That's my only hope.
Because the Monty trade still hurts. I know
the Monty trade hurts a lot.
Bader is good. Great fielder, good speed.
Yeah, arguably the best center fielder in the game. He's got Matt Carpenter's stamp of approval, which is huge. Matt Carpenter, our GOAT right now, behind Judge.
He's got the flow too. He's got the flow for a center.
Well, he cut it. You had to cut that shit.
Wait, what?
We don't play that shit here, man. You know that. You got to cut that.
Did he keep the Garrett Cole length?
I didn't see. In the picture I saw, it looked like he got like a U haircut. Like he chopped it all off.
Cleaned it. You know, he's a Bronx native.
Yeah, he's a Bronx native, which is kind of intriguing for obviously the Yankees. They're like, oh, storyline. We love a Bronx kid. Like, shut up, dude. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Just get Hicks off my team and we're cool.
Dude, I'm just saying, possible, like, they're looking to move, if they move on from Gleyber Torres, you could see Peraza, you could see Volpe getting shots in spring training, you know. And you could even see, you know, hopefully in the Torres trade, we dump Aaron Hicks off somewhere.
Dump Aaron Hicks. I hope we dump Donaldson. I'm tired of him, if I'm being honest. His defense has been phenomenal. I will not take that away from him. That's the only saving grace I give him. He's actually been tearing the cover off the ball last few games, especially tonight versus the Cardinals. He's the only one really doing damage consistently.
Hopefully we have him down the stretch, you know.
Yeah, hopefully he continues this throughout August, September, and October. But yeah, if I'm being honest, I would love it if he's off the team next year. I'd love it if they give a guy like Volpe a chance at third. They put Peraza at short. Maybe they put IKF back at third.
Maybe IKF at third, Peraza.
Maybe they go sign a guy to play third. I don't know who that'd be.
Yeah, at this point, we're a little bit tapped for ideas for that. But
yeah, we'll see. A lot of exciting moves in the offseason, but more importantly, the moves we made now, I think, are very good. And positioning ourselves well for a really good postseason run. I really do believe that, especially when guys come back. When Stan, Severino, Brenton, they all come back. Huge additions to this already really talented team. I do think they can make a hell of a run.
And I think Montas is pitching soon. He was on the bereavement.
He's pitching Sunday.
2:15 game. Should be a good one. Let's go Yankees.
Let's go Yankees, man.
All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. We will see you all hopefully in the next one. That'll be Sunday night. 99% sure, at least, as of right now. We will see you all